Yeah. Oh man, it is another Sunday.
Yes, sir.
And that means it is time to talk hip hop like nobody else in the world.
You damn right, man.
So hey, it's only right that it is time for Bangin on lunch tables.
Yeah.
And I'm Kent from the Port.
It's your boy Mike Jones.
And we are available at a lot of places.
Yes, sir.
And spaces.
That's right.
Just in case I slurred the shit out of that, you didn't understand me at all. All right. But what's for a fact is we are at your Google Play.
Yes, sir.
Your Apple Podcasts.
You damn right.
Your Spotify.
Hey, man. It sounds like we've been drinking early this morning.
Right.
At least I haven't.
Right. No, I definitely haven't. My edible has definitely wore off since yesterday, so I don't even understand what's happening right now. And we absolutely cannot forget that iHeartMedia app.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? And Stitcher, okay, as well. So, you know, wherever you're listening to, if somebody don't like the platform that you're listening on, tell them, hey, we'll take your ass somewhere else because we'll be there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we on that too, fam.
Believe that. You know what I'm saying? And Jones and I, we're going to sidebar because, you know, hip-hop content is light, man. But, you know, Jones and I are two black men in our 30s, and we are trying to get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And one thing is, usually we would say something like this for a final word, but I kind of want to kick off the show with it. And that is, hey, listen, everybody, we know that you got passions out there, and it's good to love the things that you do. And we are both testaments to the fact that sometimes those things don't necessarily pay you how you know that you want all the time, like 100% of the time.
Right.
And it's important that when you get older and you get families and you want to move forward, that you go out here and get this fucking money, man. You know what I'm saying?
It's out there for you.
It really is, and we mean it legally too. We don't mean like hit the block, like how Dame Dash was telling people like get some consignment like I did, and you could be an entrepreneur. It's like you don't really want to do that.
Yeah, don't risk it all, man. Don't risk it all.
You know what I'm saying? But there are definitely some industries out here that exist where the money is real, and even the pandemic ain't stopping it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? As we learn from this pandemic and COVID-19 and all of this madness that is happening right now, is that even some of our favorite retail chains, our long-standing retail chains, Jones, are no longer going to exist after this blows over, and that is crazy. For those of you that know me or just know this show and where I'm from Freeport, Illinois, and JCPenney was a staple in our city. Or in our town, city. It's over 30,000 people. I can say city now.
Yeah.
So like, and in Pretzel City, USA, Jones, JCPenney was the place that I did a lot of back to school shopping. I did a lot of Christmas shopping and received Christmas gifts, and that was just the place where I went like to when I didn't want to go to Rockford and go to like a Venture or a Marshall's, TJ Maxx, or any of the other like or JW Fashion in the mall over at Cherryvale Mall, anything like that. We went to JCPenney. And even the one in Freeport, Illinois closed, Jones, and it's not opening back up.
Damn.
That store has been around older than me. I'm damn near 40, Jones.
Right.
So like when I look at that and it's like, damn, you know what? Even retail, the way we know it or the way that we've seen it is not safe. But from this pandemic and from the quarantine and all of this madness that's going on, but there are still some industries and there's still some companies that are going to thrive and prosper beyond this, and this is the time to innovate, revamp. Listen, don't think necessarily that your pivot or your 2 steps back is not going to lead you 10 steps forward, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks.
I just want y'all to be aware of that because we're we personally we're making moves like the company I work for. I ain't even gonna front y'all. It's the middle of a pandemic, and I asked for more money from these motherfuckers. Like I was like, yo, hey, look, I know you want this done, But hey, I want this then, and let's make it make sense.
Hey man, get my homeboy his change.
You know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I'm saying? Don't feel sorry for my mama. Run that change. You know what I'm saying?
On the
real. So with that, when I experienced that, they countered back with an idea, if you will, a situation that I consider a perk that if they can make it happen, I've never been able to do before. And I was like, okay. Like, you know what? That's how you sweeten the pot. That's how you show me that you care about me and my work. And boom. You know, now we can have some real ass conversations about what's about to go down here. You dig what I'm saying? So,
yes,
so yeah, man. I just say that all to say to all of you, especially you hip hop heads out there, you media heads, you music heads, people that tune into the show because you fuck with us and you fuck with our product and what we do. Hey, listen, man, pandemic or not, go get this fucking money, man.
Go get it,
you know what I'm saying?
It's out here.
Make those wise and smart, prosperous decisions for your family. Make your money, save your money. Don't be worried about if you can't necessarily invest your money the way you want to right now, but definitely do not be void of yourself of going out here to get this money. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, on the real, man.
Shout out to Slum Village. Rest in peace, Jay Dilla. All right?
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, shit. You know, that was a good little intro, I think. They provided me some inspiration. I feel motivated, Jones. So,
definitely,
you know man. Let's get to some hip-hop shit.
Let's do it.
Banging on lunch tables.
You damn right.
R.I.P. Malik B. from the Roots, man.
Yeah, R.I.P. man.
So, rapper deaths like this, Jones, for me, are for, I'm going to say like the P1s, like the core cult fans, and for the people that are just aware of, you know, the history of the Roots way before Jimmy Fallon on the Tonight Show and way before people started really realizing that Black Thought is super nice, right?
Right.
So, I didn't read Cause of Death. So, and I apologize for that, but Malik B was one of the original members from the Roots. I was hoping that, you know, a platform like Tidal, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful when I say this, but I was hoping that when they did the RIP header and all of that, and listed and had the playlist of the Roots, that they would have all the songs that he was on on the playlist. Yeah. And I think it was like maybe 3. So to kind of give people a history, and I'll let you chime in, Jones, if you want after this. Malik B was one of the core members. Like when I first seen the Roots, I thought they were a duo or at most a trio, because I always seen Questlove in the videos as well. So Black Thought, Malik B, and Questlove are like the 3 faces that I always associated with the Roots. And I come in at Proceed on the Do You Want More album, even though he was all through Organics, which was, I think, their quote underground album. But I think a lot of those joints made Do You Want More. He's also all through Philadelphia Half-Life, which is their 3rd album. Then he's kind of gone for a while, you know what I'm saying, because Things Fall Apart still comes out in the 90s. So in 99, he's not on that album, but he does return. And he's not on the Tipping Point. He's not on that album either. But he comes back for Game Theory, which is actually one of my favorite Roots albums for the second half. The second half of that album is so fucking phenomenal. But he does make a reappear for that album. So, you know, to be clear, Organics, Do You Want More, Philadelphia Half-Life, and Game Theory are the albums that you should be checking out if you want to hear more of specifically Malik B and his time with the Roots.
Okay.
And you know what I'm saying? So with that, man, I just want people to listen to him. He was a dope lyricist, you know what I'm saying? For a while, he had my favorite verse on Clones, which is one of the lead singles on Philadelphia Half-Life. And that was the only song that really confused me. Like, you know, because we were listening to hip hop, we know groups as groups. Like, you know, it didn't matter. Like, we knew everybody in Wu-Tang, all 9 of them. That's one group. But but that one had me thinking that Dice Raw was a member of the Roots. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
definitely.
And like the other
Definitely.
guys, like, but then like I would hear Common on the album, and then Most Def would be on. I was like, okay, wait, I know they ain't all in the Roots. Now, damn, what is this? You know what I'm saying?
You're right. Yeah.
And then it just ends up being Black Thought as like the lead guy, the lead MC, the front man of the group, and then that's kind of what they do just moving forward. And but yeah, man, you can't forget about the origins, the core of what makes the group, and Malik B was an original member of that, along with like Kamal on the keyboard and Hub, the bass player. Like these are the guys, to educate people a little bit. These are the guys that I'm mentioning now that were working with Scott Storch when y'all didn't know he was in the Roots. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
so when you think about it, so. And sorry here, man. I promise you, I'm gonna let you talk. I promise to God, I'm gonna let you talk.
Nah, go ahead, man. Please. You good, bro?
But like the original Roots crew is Black Thought, Malik B, Questlove, Kamal, Hub, and Scott Storch. And I think it's one more person, but I know that's like 6 people. And and they are and basically that whole core are the first 4 albums, even though Malik B, I don't think he's really present on Things Fall Apart. I don't think he's that present on that album. But those guys are the ones that are the blueprint for that root sound that you love even to this day. Like, you know what I'm saying? So and I think that should have been highlighted more in his passing, more than that he was just one of the MCs on the Roots. But hey, it is what it is. That's why we have Banging on Lunch Tables, because because when we know the information, we share the information, and that's how we give it up. So I want to say just sincere prayers and condolences to the whole entire Roots crew, past and present. Also to the family and friends of Malik B. And A. Jones, take it away, man.
Man, like, I appreciate the history lesson, man, because as somebody who wasn't a P1 Roots fan, like, I didn't even really like know about the Roots until Things Fall Apart. Like, You Got Me is really like my first introduction. Then, of course, I did my history lessons on them. But man, I had never seen a group that had rotating members like that. You know what I'm saying? Like first and foremost, R.I.P. to Malik B.
Yeah.
Because I had never seen nothing like that. Like, I was like, oh, they had another rapper? He left? Oh, okay. And then, like, Scott Storch was in the group. Okay, he left. And there was never any beef from what I saw. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not the biggest fan of the Roots. I do respect them, their movement, and, like, Black Thought is one of the illest lyricists of all time, hands down.
Yes.
But I just following their story and being engaged to every album, that's not your boy. But I always thought that was interesting. It never seemed like there was any bad blood with members leaving, because that's what I'm used to. You know what I'm saying? Like, when Crunchy Black left 3 6 Mafia, it was fuck DJ Paul and Juicy J for a second. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When Ice Cube left NWA, it was like, oh yeah, that's what's up? Fuck y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's what it always seemed to be. And with them, it was never that. Like, even like, I remember when like Rozelle was like, yeah, Rozelle from the Roots.
There we go. Yes, Rozelle was the other guy. Thank you, Jones. Damn, I forgot. That was, Rozelle. Yes.
Yeah, because he had dropped All I Know, and like that was the first time in my life, like in my hip hop life, I had seen like beatboxing be like a prominent thing again. You know, it was short lived, but like he was really like on that beatbox shit, and people was really fucking with it. So it was interesting, man. Like, so R.I.P. to Malik B. I'm gonna go back and do my Googles, do my homework on Buddy and his contribution to the Roots. You know what I'm saying? I know that's really a sad thing for them to lose a member. I don't care how current he was, or like if he was on the last album. None of that even matters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you build a bond with somebody, being in a band with them. You know what I'm saying? Being in a group with them, making music with them, and all that. And since, like I said, it doesn't appear, or it never appeared to be any bad blood. I've never heard any ill words from Questlove about Buddy, or Black Thought from Buddy, or any other members about the Roots. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I hope God grants them strength and peace, man, and that as well to his family.
Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. So, again, you know, from Banging on Lunch Tables, man, condolences, prayers, best of blessings to everybody and the entire Roots crew, past and present, and praying for you brothers to get through this very tough time.
Yes, sir.
Banging on lunch tables.
You damn right.
The Purple Tape Jones.
Hey.
The Purple Tape officially turned 25 years old.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? Saying the Purple Tape should be enough, but in case people don't really know, if you're uneducated or you might be 23, you know what I'm saying? Because you might be 23 listening. Right. We're talking about Raekwon, the Chef, featuring Ghostface Killer. Only Built for Cuban Links, the album, man. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, we've celebrated this album a couple times before, Jones, so I don't want to rehash too much old content, but what I will say is that I am glad in the era where people are all about the streams and all about who's, quote, relevant. You know, that word I hate because of the way it's used when we are talking about hip-hop, and maybe we can sidebar into that. I'm glad that the album, like the Purple Tape, you know what I'm saying, that East Coast violence, that you know what I'm saying, that hard copy drug music that had to be purchased from a record store, you know what I'm saying, specifically, is still getting love and still getting appreciation today. This is another one of those albums, Joan, much like we talked about Bone Thugs and Harmony's East 1999. This is in that top 100 for me as well.
I'm not mad at that.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I, again, this is another one of those albums on that way. If I had to give somebody 100 albums and say, yo, this is the best example of hip hop I can give you, and if you don't like at least half of these, then you don't like hip hop.
Right.
Only Built for Cuban Links is in that top 100, Jones.
Oh, definitely. Easily.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, I remember the first time I heard Glaciers of Ice, and and the video, the fact that the RZA just had a woman just singing in the background, which then it totally overpowers the end of Ghostface's verse on the song.
Right.
I was like, okay, I mean, you know what? This works for me. It was organized confusion. The Cuban Link album for me, Jones, is an album where you could tell, like, calculated risk for taking, but at the same time, you could tell that they didn't even realize they were taking risks. They were just doing some shit that they sincerely felt, and that's what came out. And that's what I sincerely miss about hip hop. And I'll circle that back around as soon as you give your proper respects to the Purple Tape, sir.
Hey, man, this is easily my favorite, and I think the best Wu-Tang solo release.
Okay.
Like, I think this is a ghost that all 9 are still kind of chasing a little bit, man. Because to me, it's the perfect balance of what all of the Wu represents. And because I was listening to it earlier, and I thought of the TV show, just so I could get a glimpse of what their life was kind of like, even though that's the fictionalized version. But like hearing Ghostface talk about, like, man, I don't want to be a drug dealer no more. You know, they done shot up my mom's crib. And knowing that Raekwon was the one that shot up his mom's crib is insane, man. But, like, I didn't listen to this till later in life because, like, I just knew the Wu and then, like, Method Man. You know what I'm saying? But once I dove into it, I was like, yo, this is fire. And it's been something that I've often went back to, like, yo, man, this is so good. And then with this, you see the needles and the threads of, I guess you could say, modern day hip hop, like with Griselda or West Side Gun. You see the through line straight to something like this, or even Pusha T. Like, I got a chance to interview him around the time Daytona had come out, and he mentioned this album specifically, and it was like, imagine that you go from, like, that's a direct descendant of Cool G Rap and all that, man, from Raekwon to Pusha T. All of that is right there, and it's so cinematic when you listen to it. Like, I know we often say that about, like, Dr. Dre and West Coast albums and whatnot, but this is definitely one of those where I can see, like, in the midst of, like, West Coast G-Funk's run or, like, Death Row's run, why, like, this stands out as, like, a flag planted in the middle of that shit. Like, I feel what y'all doing over there, like Dog Pound, Get It Off, Tupac, I see you rocking. Snoop, you killing shit.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, man, the East Coast still got some like hard shit, and it's definitely that, man. It's so soaked in like a different type of gangsterism, like that whole mafioso, Carlito's Way, King of New York type Nino Brown vibe with all the slanguage to it and everything. Hey, man, the album's fire. If you don't like this, I question your love for hip hop. We gonna have to have a conversation.
Absolutely.
Because everybody don't like everything. But I'm definitely gonna look at you with the side eye, like, fam, you don't like I get it, you might like down south shit, but you don't like this, fam. You ain't feeling this at all.
Right. Yeah, they should be questioned, Jones. They should be questioned and probably stoned. I'm really not opposed to either scenario, to be honest.
Oh man, stone him.
You know what I'm saying? Like it should be done. You ain't fuck with the Cuban links. I don't know what we could talk about after that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
I like to circle it back just to pay more homage to the Purple Tape, right? I mentioned about this album sounds like a bunch of risk, but at the same time, it didn't seem like that was the thing. It's kind of like what I think other rappers of today get themselves trapped into. Like, just like earlier, I was hearing artists saying, man, don't nobody want to hear no music right now. It's like, no, maybe people don't want to hear your shit. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know, or
exactly.
Or maybe you need to find the people that want to hear your shit and then release. And then there's that whole I gotta have a certain BPM because that's what radio and clubs are playing, or I gotta rap about this topic or this subject because this is a definite hit or something like that. And it's like, it almost looks like for this album for me, you know what I'm saying, RZA, Ghost, and Ray, they went into the studio and they must have like just cut off all communications. They must have broke some TVs because this album didn't sound like they were chasing any fucking body or they were trying to fit in with any particular sound. And this comes out in 1995.
Right.
So to give y'all real landscape in real time, Snoop is already who Snoop is.
Yeah.
Pac already has Me Against the World. Biggie has Ready to Die and the One More Chance remix is rocking right now. And Raekwon comes out with fucking Ice Cream.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that. And I wish, Jones, that we had a lot of artists that were just willing to do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? While Warning is coming out and while Juicy is out or while Dear Mama and Keep Your Head Up is out, these niggas drop Criminology. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
Criminology is out. Fucking damn, what's my other shit? Glaciers of Ice is out. And it's like, you know what? Yeah, you shouldn't play those back to back. They don't make sense. Like,
right.
but that's great. But that's great though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that's why I love this album so much. It's because, man, it's a whole different world. Like, you know, much like I talk about how Dipset, you know, had us thinking that, you know, Harlem, USA was its own island that didn't even exist in New York.
Exactly.
Like that's how I felt about, you know, Staten Island and specifically Wu-Tang music. It was like, does this really happen in New York? I haven't heard Biggie mention any of this yet.
right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So man, all that to say that, man, if you're really trying to be a hip-hop artist from my perspective, if you're trying to be a real hip-hop artist that don't give a fuck about what people are telling you, what potential consumers are telling you about what people are listening to, what they want to hear, what they really are into, then you need to educate yourself by simply just listening to Only Built for Cuban Links and just understanding that. And then I want you to listen to that album and then look at the rap year that is 1995. Just look at it. You can just read it, like the number one songs of every month or every week. Just look at them, read them,
yeah.
And then listen to that album, and you'll be like, how the fuck? But yet it's still that great.
Yeah, man. Because I agree with that. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good because that's literally what hip hop is about to me, Jones. Like, the Only Built for Cuban Links album is just one of those shining examples of like, man, hip hop is gonna win when hip-hop do what it want to do. You know what I'm saying? I look at that album as such as that, again, in my top 100. albums. One day we gotta put together a list of those 100 albums, Jones. I'm sure we probably have them that differ, so we should have to do our own 100. But but I do believe that, like, you know, so that there are 100 albums that totally signify everything that is hip hop, and I'll be damned if Only Built for Cuban Links is not in it.
Right, that's a fact, man.
So yeah, man. So hey, salute Ray. You know what I'm saying? Raekwon the Chef, salute Ghostface Killer, salute the RZA, Method Man, Genius was on that album, of course. You God, you know, Ghostface Killer, Rebel Lioness, everybody, just the entire Wu-Tang. Even though it was a collective effort, the shining stars were definitely Ray and Ghost, and hip hop, as well as my music taste, is better for it. Salute to 25 years of the Purple Tape, man.
Hey.
You know, banging on lunch tables.
You damn right.
All right, Jones. Fresh off of the VERZUZ victory, but by a slim margin. Snoop Dogg had an interview that I do need to watch in full.
Okay.
But basically, and I'm sure you've probably seen it, and if not, I apologize for putting your own content in your own ears like that. But I will say that he said that Eminem wasn't in his top 10, and I had no problem with that at all. Because why the fuck does Snoop Dogg have to put anybody in his top 10?
Right, yeah.
Just to be clear, you know what I'm saying? And then, and after that interview, he obviously got a lot of backlash. And then he doubled down, though, on his own Instagram page. And Jones, he said, my top 10 MCs of all time, mine's not yours, is Slick Rick, Ice Cube, LL Cool J, KRS-One, Rakim, Run from Run DMC.
I'm not mad at that.
DMC from Run DMC.
All right.
Big Daddy Kane.
Okay.
Ice-T. And Too Short.
I'm not mad at that list at all.
I'm not mad at all at either, Jones.
I'm not mad at that list at all.
And as he says, FYI here, I want to read his caption too, Jones. I want to read this. I think this is also going to help us provide context to the rest of our topic on this.
All right, please.
He says, a lot of niggas been crying about me leaving people off my top 10 without even seeing my shit, so here it is. FYI, notice how none of my peers or MCs after me are on this list. Like, I respect you, G's. It is what it is. But I was taught if you offended, you'll get over it. I'm sorry. MCs after me are on this list. Respect you. Jesus, what I was taught, if you offended, I'm sorry, because he's spelling some shit wrong. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. If you offended, you'll get over it. I get left off a lot of top 10s. I'm not even on this one. which that being his own list. So Jones, I want to say first off, and I'll let you respond and say what you would like after this, but I want to say first and foremost, I think Snoop Dogg has officially given the most honest and the most realistic and the perfect top 10 for who he is.
Yes.
So what do you have so far after just hearing the list, hearing the caption, and my thought there?
Man, I'm glad you said that, because that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, okay, knowing Snoop's age, knowing the makeup of his style, I don't see no other reason why his list shouldn't be what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, before you told me the list, because that was the only part of it I did miss.
Okay.
I was a little surprised that Eminem wasn't in it. I was slightly surprised, but I wasn't mad. I wasn't like, how could you leave Eminem off the list? I was like, okay, well, I thought he might have been in it, but cool. You know what I'm saying? But knowing Snoop and his style and the era that he comes from and the era that came before him, okay, just for example, Run DMC, Run and DMC, being in his top 10 makes a whole lot of fucking sense. Do you know what they did for the culture?
Right.
Any of y'all that's listening that are pissed at Eminem is not in his top 10. It's like they are the reason why we have the multitude of rappers that we have today, because they was crisscrossing the country, going on tour. People in the audience were seeing them. They eventually became your favorite rapper. So who do you think your favorite rapper is going to honor? They're going to honor the people that came before them, that set it off for them, that made them be like, yo, I can do that shit. Who do you think they was going home listening to and trying to copy their rhymes and they rhymes out, or trying to sound like? Like, I know my generation was trying to sound like Jay-Z. The next generation under me, was slightly under me, was trying to sound like Lil Wayne. All the people that influenced Jay-Z and Lil Wayne was listening to Run DMC, Rakim, KRS-One, Big Daddy Kane. Like, those are their OGs. So, fam, you cannot be upset if Eminem didn't make Snoop's top 10.
Right.
And on top of that, it's Snoop's top 10. This is his list. This is who he liked. And he was like, that's my boy now. But he told me he ain't better than them. And I'm pretty sure Eminem would say that about some of his peers. Like Eminem's best friend, Swifty McVeigh, probably ain't in Eminem's top 10. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'd be willing to bet. You know what I'm saying? I might lose $50 maybe, but I'm willing to bet Swifty McVeigh ain't make Eminem's top 10. Like, just because that's his homie or he know him or some shit.
Right.
Like, it's not gonna be yours. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got Pimp C in mind. I know Pimp C ain't the greatest rapper of all time, but shit, he means something to me.
Right, exactly, Jones, exactly.
And that's what Snoop's list sounds like to me. These are the rappers that influenced him, impacted him. When he was out in Long Beach and he was hearing all that shit for the first time, this is what was making Snoop be like, oh, wow, that's dope. I want to do that.
Yeah, man. And that's why I do think it's the most honest and the most realistic top 10 that I've ever seen personally from anybody of any era, because but basically what Snoop Dogg did is what a lot of rappers should do when they keeping it real, is that list all the motherfuckers that made you want to rap.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like you could like and Slick Rick being number one. You know why I had absolutely no problem with that, Jones?
Why?
Because Snoop remade Lottie Dottie and it's on his debut album.
Exactly. Exactly.
I was like, so who's tripping about Snoop saying that Slick Rick is his favorite MC of all time, and that he's number one in his top 10? He remade Lottie Dottie, dog.
Yeah, and made it hard.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like it's a lot of things like I don't even understand why. And you know, and for everybody that might need a little education here, Snoop Dogg also remade The Vapors. The Vapors was performed by Biz Markie, who we hope is in better health than he was last week.
Yeah.
But that song was written by Big Daddy Kane.
Exactly.
So yeah, Big Daddy Kane being in his top 10 off of not only everything that he done for himself, but also doing that record specifically makes perfect sense to me. So
perfect sense.
so yeah, like I'm like, man, why do people get upset? But the other point, and why I read the caption, Jones, is because I love the fact that he said, do you notice that nobody that raps in my class, like everybody from my era, nobody made the list? And and that was also something that I was like, you know what? I feel that too, because here's the deal, Jones, that's competitive rap nature. Yep. I would honestly feel a way if Jay-Z made Snoop's top 10 when he'd been out before him. Nigga, I drop Doggy Style. I'm the reason why you are able to do what you do.
Exactly.
You're not in my top 10. Like, no, you're not in my top 10. That ain't how we do. That ain't the move. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So I look at those moments. You know what I'm saying? Because I think everybody should really flex. You know, they big hominess and all of this. You know what I'm saying? Like we forget. I understand that, you know, Pac and Big were, you know, very big and great pieces to our culture and to our time. It's like, but man, we must never forget that in real time, I'm talking about 1993, 1994, Snoop was bigger than both of them.
That's a fact.
And it wasn't close. It was not close at all. It was Snoop and the rest of y'all. And so yeah, so Big, Pac, and Jay, Nas, and Eminem not being in his top 10 makes perfect sense to me, because at one point everybody was watching Snoop to be like, yo, I got to do what that guy is doing.
Yeah, man, you know, Big even mentioned it on his album. I'm trying to figure out how to sell records like Snoop. Oops.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like, let's keep it 1,000. Big's best album, Life After Death, Somebody's Got to Die. The opening lyrics are, I'm sitting in the crib dreaming about Lear jets and coupes, the way salt shoops, and how to sell records like Snoop.
Oops.
You know what I'm saying?
You,
let the doorbell interrupt you at that moment. You dig what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's like, and so like, so when we say that, and I think because Jones, we're out of this era, where people are really doing the knowledge and educating themselves on everything before them. And, you know, and Jay-Z has been very instrumental in helping people rewrite history, because, like, you know, he's the GOAT now. He's the GOAT of GOATs as far as everybody is concerned at this moment.
Right.
But yeah, man, we can't forget about the top pocket of time that was 91 to 94, when Snoop ran the entire rap world, and he only dropped one album during that time.
Man.
It's like it's only one Snoop Doggy Dogg album from 91 to 94, but his work on the Deep Cover soundtrack, his work on The Chronic, and his work on his actual album are what propelled him to a status that we had never seen before in hip hop. So it's only right that his top 10 would be littered with all of the great artists to come right before him.
Yeah, it only makes sense, man. It only makes sense. He was the guy. Then on top of that, those are the guys to him. And it makes me think of any other time I've heard like OGs besides Snoop mention their favorite rappers, like just say the era before them. Like say Rakim is asked who his top 5 is or whatever.
Yeah.
Like oftentimes people from that era, they say like Grandmaster Caz, Kool Moe Dee. Some of the founding fathers kick it off as their favorite MCs. Grandmaster Flash. Melly Mel. I'm sorry.
Right, yeah.
Melly Mel. So, like, you hear those things. So, not only do we just got to get out of, like, the latest and greatest and what we know, you got to do your Googles and find out who are the guys that came before you. And that's one of the things I love about Snoop's list. It lets you know, like, hey, man, there was a whole landscape out here rocking before Eminem got here. That was cold. Like, when he was talking, when Envy asked him, he was like, man, you ain't got Eminem in your list. Like, he was kind of like, you know, taken aback by it. Right. He was like, man, he ain't harder than KRS-One. And, like, you feel like that. Like, as much as I like, just say Kendrick Lamar. Y'all know I love Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
I ain't putting him over Jay-Z. Like, Jay-Z was here first. Like, Reasonable Doubt is Reasonable Doubt to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's like, nah, he ain't harder than him. So just replace those rappers with Snoop's rappers. Like, yeah he cold. He ain't better than my guy, though. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Because the thing is, Jones, I've always felt this way. If people really made their top 10 based off of either who made them want to rap or what their CD collection looked like, it'd be a lot of different answers.
Oh, yeah, that's a fact.
It'd be a lot of different answers. Like what people would find out for the most part is that, like, for instance, like Nas would not be in a top 5, but neither would Jadakiss, and neither would Eminem, and Jay-Z would be no higher than 3. And you know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, we know for a fact, we know how the records break down, Jones. You know that everybody can't have the same top 5. Hip hop doesn't even reflect that.
Yeah,
it literally does not. Like so I just I was happy that, you know, finally we got a rapper, an MC, a great artist of our time, and that was a student of the time before him, to really put out his top 10 and be like, yo, and this is what it is. And you know what? You can't say shit to me because I inspired all you motherfuckers under me. You know what I'm saying?
On the real,
Like, because on the flip, I wouldn't be surprised if Snoop wasn't in Eminem's top 10, but I think people better realize off top that Redman, Proof, and Royce are in his top 5.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that, like, and Eminem is going to fuck around and name like homie from X Clan is in his top 10 or some shit.
Yeah.
like, so it's like, you know, like obviously like Eminem is never going to feel a way about what Snoop has to say about it. But if we really ask like the true greats of certain eras who their top 10 is, I would not be surprised if one, they don't put themselves on it, and two, it would be littered with a bunch of people that we were that they listened to and that inspired them to do this. And what we would find out, which would make KRS-One's statement not sound so crazy, is that a lot of people have Criminal Minded alone as one of their favorite hip hop albums of all time. Like, I'll never forget when I heard 50 Cent say, like, yo, when I heard Criminal Minded, I knew I wanted to rap and get a gun. I was like, oh, shit.
Right, yeah.
I was like, that's the album? Like, that's the album you heard? And that inspired you? And, like, and that's how we got Get Rich or Die Trying eventually? Like, that's crazy. But, you know what I'm saying? But that's the reality. That's the reality that I think people need to truly start living in. Because, everybody top 5 and top 10 don't have Big Pac, J, Hove, and M.
Right, yeah.
I mean, J, Hove, and M. J, Nas, and M. I'm sorry.
Right, yeah.
You know
the McDonald's answer, as you call it.
Yes, absolutely. The McDonald's answers. And shout out to Seth Rollins for giving me that. He was like, yo, if Jay-Z comes on, I'm not turning them off. But he was like, but I don't really listen to rap like that. I was like, yeah, he said, yo, I'm sorry. I know that's like a McDonald's answer. I was like, no, man, look, you like something. You like a rap song. Fuck it.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But yeah, man, so, I mean, just look, salute to Snoop, man. Snoop do what he want. He's a real Crip. He'll really get the shit slapped out of you. He'll really have some, like he's really contributed to the culture for decades now in a great and positive way. You know what I'm saying? Eat a dick if you don't fuck with Snoop in this top 10.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. At least he's the rapper keeping it real and realer than most that you'll ever see in the industry. And I will always salute that for sure.
It's a fact, though.
You know what I mean?
Now, look, before you go to your next topic, man, you said something real quick that piqued my interest, man.
Okay.
KRS-One saying what he said. I don't know if this was on the list to get to.
Okay.
But saying that, like, he could beat LL in a versus, though?
Yeah. You know what? Banging on lunch tables.
You damn right.
Let's sidebar, Jones, because, you know what? This was funny to me, especially because of the conversation that we had a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
When I was obviously a tad perturbed at all of you saying that Fab got washed in the versus battle, and,
right?
and I responded with LL Cool J wouldn't lose 15-5 or worse to nobody, and he got more girl songs that were mega hits than Fab.
That's a fact.
and we specifically put him up against Ice Cube, and so it was comical to me when KRS-One said that. Not only did he think he could beat LL Cool J, which I have no problem with that, but to say that he wouldn't survive, that's a nigga still mad at Queens niggas, Jones. That's the Bronx nigga still mad at Queens niggas, dog. Hey, I'm sorry. No,
look,
bro.
Man, he dropped the bridges over, man.
Right.
he gonna be mad for a while. That's
right. But he won the battle though, man. He needs to relax. He needs to fucking relax. And shout out to my cousin Dre, because he said it best. He was like, just because this nigga got 25 albums, it don't mean there's 25 songs we want to hear on that bitch.
That's a fact, though. That's a fact.
I was like, no, you're right. I was like, you're right. Yeah, I was like, one, that was a fast fact for me. I didn't realize he had 25 albums. I knew he had way more than 10 because he mentioned that when he was beefing with Nelly.
All right, yeah.
And nobody cared when he said it. But to say he got 25 albums and that's why LL Cool J won't survive, I'm like, LL could beat you with 4 albums in my view.
Man, please. I'm saying.
I could. There's like 4 LL Cool J albums that we could play and put him up against all 25 of yours, and I got him winning by 6. Like,
it's so funny though because this is where my KRS-One appreciation comes from.
Okay.
Like everything I know, I don't want to say everything I know, but as far as like the cultural side of hip hop and the tenets of it, and knowing that there's elements and all that comes from seeing repeated KRS-One interviews in the late 90s, early 2000s. So that's where my belief system, or like what the culture is and supposed to be, is based off of.
Yeah.
At the same, and he kept it so hip hop. I love that. I love that about KRS-One. He kept it so hip hop. It was like, he not beating me. So
Right.
I love all of that. But he is not beating LL Cool J. No way, no how. Not on his best day with his best bars. Nah, fam. I'm not even from that era, but LL Cool J, to me, is washing KRS-One. I don't care what you think. You can tell your uncles and them that love KRS-One what I said. LL Cool J is washing Duke. I'm telling you.
man, you know what I'm saying? Oh my God, KRS-One, right? So one, he should be more worried about the comments that's going to be happening when all of his songs play, based on the people that's trying to get rid of him, right?
Yeah, right.
But I just want to I like his bravado, but KRS-One, the legend that he is, the great MC that he is, and his great contribution to hip hop, I do really believe that sometimes you can be so, I don't know if it's jaded or oblivious to your own legacy, that you're just not making time for others.
Mm-hmm.
And not that I'm forever at any time trying to lower his self-esteem or diminish his legacy, but he should at least consider everybody from his era to be great competition.
Right.
You know
exactly.
what I'm saying? Like it should be that, like, the belief that you can beat anybody is great, but again, just going back to Snoop, the way that Snoop and DMX's verses, culminated, like, that was dope, because obviously, even though they're about the same age, Snoop was out way before DMX as far as the mainstream level, and both of their careers seeing heights that many rappers will never see.
Exactly.
So for them to both be in a very humble state, even in their battle, how can somebody like KRS-One can say that LL Cool J couldn't survive when I've sat here and listened to you call him a cultural icon? and you haven't, respectfully, sir, you've never achieved that feat for yourself.
Man, how can he say LL Cool J won't survive when you couldn't beat Nelly? You couldn't beat Nelly, and you rap way better than Nelly did.
Man, you know what I'm saying? It's so wild, but hey, man, you just got to respect the bravado, the ego, the braggadocio that comes with being a rapper from that era. You dig what I'm saying? Like,
right, yeah.
But to be clear, ladies and gentlemen, I do not think that KRS-One could beat LL Cool J in verses. I'm even going to go out on a limb here and say it'd be 13-7 LL. And and that's just being fair because of some hip hop joints that I think that he would play that would just be insurmountable. Like, if My Philosophy played, I couldn't see too many LL Cool J songs beating that unless he just really got to the I Shot Your remix, like, right out the gate. And I was like, oh, well, shit, I didn't know you were going to do that. So,
right, yeah.
So, yeah, man, but yeah, so, and look, man, salute to him. And, and since we are having a versus dream match conversation, I didn't have this on the notes, but I mean, obviously the next one coming up, which I'm going to say off top, I'm not excited for, is versus Rick Ross versus 2 Chainz. Mm-hmm. And I can't front like I really care about this, Jones, but I am going to try to tune in. I'm going to try to tune in, like, for sure.
Okay.
I know you have a better color commentary for this, so please share, Jones.
Hey, man, I hate. First of all, I'm gonna kick it off like this. I hate East Coast bias because y'all are really trying to play Chainz like Chainz ain't been having the whole last decade rocking from '01. I mean, to 2011 to 2019. Like he ain't consistently have joints. So I got Chainz winning this, not by a landslide, but I think it's gonna be close. You know what I'm saying? Like DMX and Snoop levels of close because now Ross is beloved. And the reason why I kicked that East Coast bias thing off because Rory got real disrespectful on the Joe Budden pod. Talking about it. Yeah, he was like, Chainz gonna get like 3 joints. It's gonna be 17-3. Ross's way. I was like, that's just that's highly disrespectful, man. Nah, we ain't even gonna do Chainz like that. I think Chainz is gonna win. And the reason why I say that is because Ross has album joints. Like Ross got dope albums, but I don't think when I think of Rick Ross, I don't think of big, huge singles that everybody rock with. Like it's a few in there, of course, and like he got the cinematic joints like Stay Scheming and Devil in a Blue Dress and all that. But Chainz got singles that you got drunk to, and to me, I think those are harder to beat. You know what I'm saying? Like. The album cut that everybody know and love is one thing, but if we got everybody showing up to check this joint out, then like Birthday is gonna hit a little different. You know what I'm saying? Right. Mercy is hard. I'm riding around, I'm getting it. It's mine. I spend it. That was our anthem for a whole summer. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
That's what I like. I get them. You not really feeling this matchup though, but overall, I think 2 Chainz is gonna take this, man. Like I really do. I'm gonna tune in anyway just to see what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? This is hip hop. I will be there. You know what I'm saying? Right. I think a more interesting and more even joint might have been like 2 Chainz and Gucci, maybe. Like, okay. Because Gucci versus Jeezy ain't gonna happen. That's too disrespectful. Like, yeah, no. That's not gonna kick off.
Yeah, regardless of what T.I. was trying to do, which I commend him for, but yeah, nah. Nah. Sorry.
And so I think that would have just been an even thing because I think they have a healthy respect for each other. I've never heard, like, except for the time Gucci went on that one Twitter rant before he got locked up. Yeah. That last time, I've never heard him say nothing crazy about 2 Chainz. I've never heard Chainz say nothing.
And for the most part, he apologized to most of those people anyway.
Yeah, he did. He really did. Yeah. So, like, I think that would have been a better matchup to me. But I'm interested to see how this goes, man.
Yeah, man. Jones, one, I'm shocked because I consider you to be a Ross fan and supporter.
Yeah, I am.
So you know, and much like many of you that have coined this man to be a great lyricist and to have 3 to 5 classic albums, I don't see how y'all are saying that he's going to lose to 2 Chainz. Like this is why I like to call hip hop fans specifically to the carpet. And I like to call them to the table and hold them accountable because when I seen this matchup, Jones, I said to myself, based on the way people view Rick Ross, this is going to be a sweep.
Ooh,
This is going to be 20-0.
Oh no!
By the way, and by the way people view Rick Ross or the way he's talked about, this is 20-0. And the reason why I say is this because it is the people that say that Rick Ross is a dope lyricist and he's a top tier rapper. It is the people that say Ross got at least 3 classics and this, that, or whatever, or Ross makes nothing but big hit records and Ross has the formula, the Maybach music sound is this and that and the third. I mean, and granted, and although he's never put up the numbers to reflect that in conversation, we still have that existing, the boss. Everybody wants to be the biggest boss. Blase blah, laissez faire. So I thought just from perception alone that this was a mismatch. So to hear anybody saying that 2 Chainz is going to win is honestly dumbfounding to me. because if 2 Chainz is going to win, then y'all couldn't ever justify that Ross and T.I. or Ross and Jay or Ross and even Nas for me would even be a draw. If y'all got Chainz beating Ross, then he can't beat nobody in the top tier to me.
Okay. I like that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want that out. Like, yeah, like Kendrick versus Ross. No, that's 20-0 for Kendrick. Like Cole versus Ross, it should be 20-0 because y'all think 2 Chainz about to beat Ross.
Okay.
I mean,
that's fair. That's fair.
So like I said, man, I'm just gonna hear the playlist. I'm just gonna hear how this goes. I can't front. I don't really have a dog in this fight. I'm not the biggest Ross fan, and although I do like a lot of 2 Chainz music, I met him in person a couple times, and it wasn't the greatest experience. So, it's like, yo, your music is dope, but okay, I can live or die without this. Like,
all right.
So we'll see, man. We'll see. So VERZUZ is coming up, Ross versus Chainz. If y'all got Chainz beating Ross, then Ross can't really beat nobody, and his catalog ain't what y'all say it is. And I'll say it just like that.
Hey man, I just don't think them singles gonna carry, man. Like Ross is still Rose. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think the singles that he got are gonna beat Chainz. But I was talking to one of my homies at the gig, and he was like, "Well, what Chainz gonna play when Ross play any of those Maybach music?" I was like, "You kind of got a point. You kind of got a point because Maybach music for me, the first 3, those are the illest in the series, and I can't pick a favorite." So either one of those are rounds to me. But anything else, like if you play Monster from My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, I'm cool on that. Like if you try to sneak that in there as like a win, nah, that's gonna lose. If Chainz played Mercy, I don't think. Yeah, he has to. He has to. Yeah. And I can't think of a Rick Ross record that's beating that per se off the top of my head.
Nope, there isn't one, Jones. There isn't one. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what. If he wants to draw that round, tie it up. When Mercy plays, he plays BMF. That's it. Where'd you go, Jones?
Ooh, see, that's a hard one. That's why I say this one is gonna be close, man. Like, because BMF is a beloved favorite and it's high energy, just like Mercy. I just don't know, man. I just don't know. I'm just here for it, man. I'm grabbing my popcorn. I'm gonna have my TV up loud because I'm gonna connect the laptop to it, and we're gonna have a ball. We're gonna have a ball,
man. So hey, listen. Well, that will be VERZUZ, man. I'm gonna hop in and out. You know, I might have some commentary. Well, we'll talk about the recap. I think more than anything. I think that's going to be the most important aspect of it all to me is the recap and to see who people really think won. So I'm anticipating that for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Banging on lunch tables.
You damn right.
Jones, some new music hit, and I'll be honest, I didn't really listen to much, so the list is short from my end. But I did want to salute E40 for dropping the Curb Commentator. I love his album titles.
I love him. I love him.
E40 has some phenomenal album titles, dog.
He definitely does.
And this is definitely one of those, the Curb Commentator. Like, I wish I would have thought of that myself. But shout out to him. I did actually hear Latin Grammys by Action Bronson. I thought it was called Suplex City, bitch, because I heard it on Shade 45. but it's called Latin Grammys. But I like it. I mean, hey, I like Action Bronson. He does no wrong to me, so that was a dope joint. And and you know what? And because you brought it to my attention, I forgot it was out. I actually did listen to Black Soprano Family, the new joint from Benny the Butcher and DJ Drama, with his guys on it. And hey, man, listen, man. Benny is. I mean, obviously Benny is Benny, and I love anything that Benny does. But the Black Soprano Family project is dope. It's dope. More Buffalo niggas that shoot up shit and sell drugs, man.
That's a fact.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it is what it is. You like it or you don't, and that's all we got to say about that. But I did honestly like it though. It's a short project, 8 joints, but dopeness front to back though. I will say that for sure.
Yeah, man, it was interesting listening to it because it kind of reminded me of the era when Dipset had all those offshoot groups, and but better. Like, so it makes me interested to see like how far Benny can take this. Because I know like hip hop is on a heavy Griselda wave right now. We see them boys and they winning. Will they be able to translate this into their crews? Because if everybody's a boss, then you want to have your own. Like Griselda is West Side Guns, and since they all family and are all under the same umbrella, I know they picking up game from them and are trying to do their own thing underneath that family system. So I would be interested to see the Black Soprano family like achieve a decent amount of success and not just be the dudes that rap with Big. You know what I'm saying? Because this project, like Cam said, is dope. So I want to see where they can take it, man.
Yeah, man. We're back into the world of rap crews with people that can actually rap, man. And that we all win when things like that happen.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Oh man. Oh wait, is there any other music that you want to cover, Jones, before we move on here?
Oh man, that's all I listen to. I caught the Benny and that was it. So we good, bro.
Hey, sometimes all you need to do is catch some Benny, man, and your week is set. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
So there's
that's
that.
A fact.
Banging on lunch tables.
You damn right.
Final words before we get up out of here, Jones.
Oh man, y'all just have a blessed week. Oh man, prayers going out to Biz Marquee. I think that happened within that week because I don't think we got a chance to mention it last week, man.
No, we mentioned it. We kicked it off right after R.I.P. to Regis.
We sure did. We sure did. So never mind. I ain't got shit.
Well, I was gonna say, we can still send out prayers and best wishes to Biz Marquee in the camp. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
That always works, man. So a final word from me, I guess. As we get into this like third and fourth quarter of hip hop, and I think it's quite obvious that it's Lil Baby's year, and that is what it is. I just want to encourage artists to find different avenues to get revenue, much like the Baby in his camp, who has just inked a streaming deal, for a live stream performance deal that's gonna get him some nice 7 or even 8-figure checks.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man. And again, we keep talking all this shit. Like y'all listening to the wrong people. Stop listening to people that are not of the music industry, or being innovative with getting their coins in the music industry. But the Baby is inking a deal that's going to make him very wealthy or wealthier, whether this quarantine stops at 2021 or not.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'll let y'all Google that and read it because I don't have the article in front of me because it did happen in between shows. But I did want to just say, hey, your art is still in demand to your audience. And if you were hitting the road to get your money, now it's time for you to make the internet your road and figure out how to get your money. Because it's still very much out there, and you should be very much aware of that, and you should be trying to make it freaking happen at all costs, man. Just like we started the show, we gonna end the show. Hey, get fucking money now. You know what I'm saying? Because the quarantine ain't stopped 100% of the world, and you don't want to put yourself in that 100%. All right? So it's out here. Oh, hey, you know what? Hey, look, to quote Jeezy and Thug Motivation 101, the world is yours and everything in it. Get on your grind and get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Sky's the limit. That's what I was trying to think. Sky's the limit. As he said on Sky's the limit. You know what I'm saying? It's out there. Get on your grind and get it. Hey. Hands in the air. Sky's the limit, nigga. Hands in the air. Yeah, that's what y'all need to get on, man. That's my final word. And yeah, man. Hey, listen, we had fun doing this episode. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And we hope that you enjoyed listening to it. Our goal is to bring you consistent, high quality hip hop content every single week, and we can tell from the likes, comments, the shares, and the ads, and the conversations and questions that you seem to agree with that and want us to keep going. And we will do exactly that for you all. You know what I'm saying? So until next time, always understand that it is fans over critics.
Yes, sir.
And support what you love instead of bashing what you hate.
Yeah, it is.
And we always want you to be safe, be humble, and live hip hop.
You damn right.
It's the Bangin' on Lunch Tables podcast with Camp from the Port.
Mike Jones.
And we are out.
Yeah.